575-678-1178. Tonight's forecast is calling for partly cloudy skies, 20% chance of rain in the basin, 40% for the mountains. Alamogordo, low of 69 for Cloudcroft, a low of 53. Tomorrow we're looking at mostly sunny, becoming partly cloudy skies, slight chance of rain in the basin, a better chance up in the mountains. Alamogordo tomorrow, high of 93, low of 69. Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 74, low of 55.
This is the Roundup on ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Going from the Tularosa Basin and beyond, this is your local connection to the world of sports. From high school to college and to the pros, we cover the latest news and the biggest stories. Don't forget, this is your show. Change the topic anytime. Call us at 437-1230. The Roundup starts right now. ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome into the Roundup here on a Monday, week of the start of the high school prep sports season. I know I've been probably touting it as the last couple of weeks, but technically we're actually playing games that count this week. Soccer tomorrow, soccer again on Thursday, volleyball on Thursday, football on Friday, soccer on Saturday. Busy week. So we'll make sure you know everything that's coming up schedule-wise this week so you don't miss anything if you want to get out there and see something, whether it's Alamogordo, Tularosa, Cloudcroft, Mescalero, something here in the area. Make sure that you're at least aware of it, and then it's up to you. You know, you got to decide whether you're going to go out and see it or not. Simple as that. Boys soccer at home. 3 games this week for Alamogordo as the defending champs get their season underway. Alamogordo volleyball opens up their season at home against Ruidoso on Thursday. Tularosa football is at home on Thursday, or on Friday, I should say. I'm sorry. And let's see. Anything else? I think those are all the home games coming up this week. But let's see. No cross country this week. Football. We're at Valencia up in Los Lunas on Friday. You can listen to the game here on ESPN Alamogordo. We'll be live on the air at 6:45, 7 o'clock kickoff. We're also on YouTube. It's going to be, I'm going to need to put change in the jar from this point on. I haven't messed it up that much. I'm kind of surprised. Soccer on Tuesday against Hobbs. Thursday against Los Lunas. Both those, actually the Hobbs game is a 6:30 start time. The Los Lunas game is a 6 o'clock start time. And then Chaparral coming up on Saturday is a 1 o'clock kickoff. So that's coming up this week. Let's see. Girls soccer plays twice this week, but both on the road. At Hobbs, at Chaparral. That's Tuesday, Saturday. Volleyball on Thursday. Ruidoso, it's a varsity regular season game. It's a scrimmage for 9th grade and JV on Thursday night. And then next Tuesday they host Chaparral, and next Thursday they take on Valencia at home with Santa Teresa on the road. Coming up next Saturday, so they play 3 matches next week. Tularosa volleyball doesn't have anything this week. They get started next Thursday. Tularosa football opens up against Hot Springs at home. Coming up on Friday night, 7 o'clock out at Cerny Stadium. Cloudcroft football gets McCurdy on the road on Saturday. It's going to be a 1 p.m. kickoff as Cloudcroft switches back to 11-man football this year. Cloudcroft's cross country does the Trails to Rails 3-mile coming up on Saturday. And no volleyball for them this week. Well, actually, yeah. Next week, it doesn't show up on this schedule for some reason. I'm a little confused by it, but Tularosa apparently seems to think they're playing Cloudcroft next Thursday. So we'll see. Let's see here. Mescalero football host Mission Achievement and Success I think that's a Saturday afternoon game up in Mescalero. And Mescalero Volleyball takes on Gateway Christian this Thursday to begin their season. At least that's according to their Max Prep schedules. Always try to make sure that could always be a change. You never know from what's on the old Max Prep schedule there. But that's what you got this week for all your various teams. Again, you can... Apparently we have all the schedules up on the Facebook page. I might just reload them and put them in an album so you guys can... you can find them easily on the Facebook page. But I will say that, again, Alamogordo Public Schools athletics page is really well done with their schedules. You can download all those directly off their page. Same goes for Tularosa and for Cloudcroft. For Tularosa, I would just search Tularosa schools. Easiest way to get there, at least I found. Cloudcroft, I think it's cmsbears.org, but you can search Cloudcroft schools. Mescalero, Max Preps is probably your best bet. Again, they're on, at least from last check last week, their site wasn't updated for... They didn't even update for the spring sports season. It was still for the winter sports. So it's a website. You got to have somebody that's updating it, and maybe that person just either isn't there anymore. I'm not sure, but so yeah, busy week. We're getting started with youth sports as well across the area. OCYSL, OCYFL, the Otero County Youth Football League, is having a yard sale coming up this Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Circle Drive Park, helping raise money for new equipment, helmets for the kids. Again, 8 to 1 p.m. Circle Drive Park is where it's listed at. So go and check that out and help out the OCYFL and help out the kids to get some new equipment. This Saturday also, we've got the Alamogordo Lady Tiger Cheer Youth Camp coming up on Saturday. Go check out their Facebook page. Got the flyer up there. It's also up on our Facebook page as well. So, busy week. We start the KNMZ Football Roundtable on Friday. We'll have Coach Cisco in at some point this week to chat about the upcoming season and his thoughts heading into the new year. Nothing but positive things. You can also hear a little bit of that on the special edition of the Roundup we did on Friday night out at the Friday Night Lights kickoff event, which was fun. I thought they did a good job with that. I think, again, it's first time out, and I think it's going to be even better next year. So it was fun, and a good amount of people showed up. Hopefully we can get more people out there next year and each time they do these kind of events and just start a little bit of a tradition. And it was very laid back and simple, and it wasn't, anything, I don't want to say over the top by any means, but I thought it was just a nice way for everybody to come out and enjoy things, and I thought it was well done. So kudos to everybody that was involved putting that together. I thought they did a good job with it. So apologies on our recording on YouTube. For some reason, and I don't know what exactly happened, there was an issue with the processing of the video, and I think the first 10 minutes or so, we had a good interview with David Maldonado from the Alamogordo Athletic Training Program, and for some reason that got cut out. So apologies to David. We'll talk to the athletic training group later on this year, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk to David. If you were listening live, you heard the interview, so no issues there. But if you were going to listen to it afterwards, we still had good interviews with Coach Cisco, Mr. Perry, Coach Alice from Alamogordo Cheer, and who else? Was that it? And then David. I think I got all the coaches of the programs that were kind of being celebrated out there, and it was good. So again, I think there's I think we'll see how that builds, because I think it'll be even more fun as time rolls along. So it'll be a good thing. But if you get the opportunity next year, either that one or the Night of Champions event that they do, or the Lift-a-thon, which I think I'm a little confused if that was the same. I think that was the same night, but that might be wrong on that. But anyway, those were during the summer this year. and most importantly, get out there for the 5 Friday night football games that we'll have, and if it's a good year, maybe there'll be an extra 1 or 2 coming up at the end of the season. We can obviously cross our fingers on that and hope that that's the case. So we'll obviously see once we get the season going. And I have had a couple of people ask me, how do I think that the football team is going to be this year? I'm really waiting to see the first game. Again, I think there's massive improvement from the team. I want to see them play a game or 2, and I know that's kind of I don't know, backing out or not giving an opinion or a prediction or anything like that. I cared a lot less about giving predictions on anything. I think I know for sure they'll be better. I know that. I feel very safe in saying that this is definitely a team that's not going to go winless this year. I think they'll be close to 500, and it's going to be 1 or 2 games that'll probably decide whether they're going to be a postseason team, and they're probably going to be the district games at the end of the year. You're probably not going to be a playoff team unless you can win a couple of district games, and that's not a gimme with Goddard and Roswell and Artesia. That's going to be tough. So, the non-district games will obviously be important and help out the Tigers, but it's going to be the same as it has been every year for Tiger football. District's going to be so key in whether they've got a chance at making the postseason this year or not. So I think it's steps, and the first step is to go out there and get a win and break the slide from last year, and after that we'll see what happens. But Los Lunas is going to be a tough matchup week 2. I think Valencia's, it certainly feels like a gettable game for the Tigers. I think Ruidoso will be. I think the former district opponents in Deming and Santa Teresa and Chaparral, I think this year those will be winnable games. It's not going to be the same as it was last year. And Lovington, I'm curious. I don't know. Lovington drops to a classification below where they've been the last few years, but they've been showing improvement the last few years too. So we'll see what happens there. So let me see. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. And then the district games. So we'll talk more as the week goes on. No show on Friday. I'll be on the road up to Los Lunas. Just a heads up on that. But, the size is better this year. The experience, the knowledge of offense and defense and what Coach Cisco is wanting to do. I think they've picked up a little bit of talent on both the offensive and defensive side. Some kids that weren't playing last year, maybe were freshmen last year. So we'll see. Again, we'll talk with Coach Cisco a little bit more in depth as we get a little bit later on in the week. And I think, scrimmage, I think there were a lot of people that were very positive about what came out of the scrimmage. And, the bigger question mark is, what's going to happen when we get around to the games. And I certainly don't feel like sitting here and saying, oh yeah, I feel real good about one way or the other. So we'll see what happens there. But looking forward to what will hopefully be a fun season for Tiger football. Looking forward to what we'll see with the rest of the programs. I think I would expect Tularosa to be solid this year. I think Mescalero and Cloudcroft, it's a big question mark. It's switching back to 11-man football, and what's that transition going to be like? Cloudcroft with a new coach this year. And, I think there's some excitement up in Cloudcroft, but it's, especially when you don't have depth and you play in, the smallest classification, you've got 20, 25 kids on your roster. Depth is probably going to be a part of it. Kids staying healthy is going to be a big part of it for Cloudcroft. So that's another one that I wouldn't even hesitate to make a guess, or I wouldn't even dare to make a guess on. Let's wait and see what it looks like. But it's going to be a transition, and I don't think it's going to necessarily be an easy one for them. And I'm trying to think, McCurdy's a pretty good road trip to begin the season. Distance is what it is. How much that really affects kids one way or the other, but I would certainly say that Probably rather play a home game to begin that. So trying to find where it exactly is. So McCurdy is up near... Oh, okay, that's north of Santa Fe. That's like Espanola. Is that the same one, McCurdy Charter School? Huh. I'm not sure I've ever looked into what McCurdy that closely before. I'll have to double check that one during the break. Go figure. Anyway, it'll be a fun season. I'm excited to get out there for soccer. Looks like, I mean, from the pictures that I saw at the scrimmage over the weekend for boys and girls soccer, field looks pretty good. And they're playing on the upper field now, at least for the time being, and hopefully the lower field will be ready by some point this year, and that'll be fun to see. So that's a good deal to say the least. So anyway, it's going to be a fun week. It's going to be a bit of a busy week, but lots of opportunities. Reminder, if you go to a lot of Tiger sports events, and I would say the same for the Wildcats, the Bears, the Chiefs, whoever you follow in the area, I guarantee every single one of the schools has an activity pass that will save you a lot of money. So if you go to middle school, if you go to sub-varsity, varsity, whatever it is, a lot throughout the entire school year, go get an activity pass. It's well worth the price of admission, and it'll save you money throughout the year at the end of the day. No doubt it'll save you money at the end of the year. And if you want to get the reserve seats for Tiger Stadium, those are still for sale. I know that they were selling a few out at the events on Friday night, and you can also check with the team. I know they were selling their value cards and various fundraising things, and I would check with whatever program that you want to support with coaches and players. I guarantee you they've got some type of fundraiser thing going on. So ask them, ask how you can help. If you want to be a part of the Booster Club, if you want to be whatever, they can get you set up, and if you want to be involved in some way, shape, or form. I keep on mentioning this because I know this is a pretty critical issue in the state of New Mexico. And I mean, to be fair, I think it's a critical issue across the country. If you're interested at all in becoming an official, now's a good time to do it. There's a lack of officials. Guarantee you can get a job doing it, get some pretty good pay with it as well. And if you're looking to do it here locally, whatever sport you may be thinking, I feel like a good place to go is the Alamogordo Athletics Office. They can at least point you in the right direction because you have a lot of different officiating groups, whether it's baseball or football or volleyball, soccer. Everybody's got their own setups, and they deal with all of those. So it's a good time to get in now. Hopefully the ebb is turning a little bit in the way that people are treating officials. I know that the NMAA is making a real emphasis this year on trying to, if anything, they're going to start punishing schools when their fans act a fool. I think there's still some kinks to be worked out in terms of how they're going to enforce that. How people are going to prove that. I know of somebody that, now I don't know, they could have been joking, but they've made comments of, I could dress up like the opposing team's fans and go and act stupid and get them in trouble. And there's somebody at the point just going so far by them. It's like, you're really understanding what's going on here. But I'm assuming that person is just trying to be funny. The sad part is I'm not really sure if they are or not. So, wasn't anybody locally. Caught that anecdote from somewhere else, so. You're not surprised. I'm not surprised. None of us are surprised that statement was thrown out there at some point. It's fun. So, we'll see how that goes this year and how they're able to enforce that. But, you know, that's going to be a big thing to watch in the next couple of years. People not wanting to come out and officiate because they're tired. You know, I know some people will say, well, they just need to grow thicker skin. You know, listen, that may be part of it. But it's also, you get to the point where, like, you know, I don't need this. Most of these people have full-time jobs and families and other things, and it's like, you know, I can spend my time doing something else. I'll give up that little bit of extra money that I'm getting from being an official because I just don't need this anymore. You know, getting confronted in parking lots and after games and having people follow, you know, as you're going down the tunnel, having somebody curse at you or, you know, stuff's got to stop, man. I love and get as passionate about sports as anybody out there. At some point, you just got to be willing to step back and not act like a jerk. But people go into sporting events and just anticipate the officials making a bad call and somehow thinking, you know, they're cheating your team, your kid, and I'm telling you, it's the furthest thing from the truth. But me trying to convince somebody of that feels like a pretty futile thing. But I'll say it again. Officials are needed, and the biggest thing that I would say is, and I know that, you know, what I'm just talking about there is probably discouraging, but what I'd say is, you know, the kids and the coaches definitely appreciate it. I know that there's coaches and kids that get negative and certainly go after officials too, but I'd say the majority of them don't, and recognize, you know, they need the officials there to even play. So a majority of them act fine, don't get crazy, and you know, it's an opportunity if you played that sport at some point or you just love that sport and you could be a part of it. It definitely, I think, means a lot to those kids, and whether the parents will agree with it or fans will agree with it or not, it means a lot to them too. They may not vocalize that to you, but they appreciate you, I promise. Probably not going to tell you that in so many words, though. All right, get you back into more of the Roundup after a quick break. If you want to call into the show, 437-1230. More of the Roundup for you right after this.
If your tires hold more excuses than air, that's a big oh no. If bad alignment has your car swerving to the left like the world's slowest U-turn, that's also a big oh no. If you get a flat at night in any town ending in Vania, that's a very big oh no. And how most scary movies start. Maybe stay in your car. Thankfully, for all your car's big oh no's, there's always a big oh yes. Now through August 25th, save $100 instantly on sets of 4 Big O brand tires with paid installation. Plus, get up to a $50 mail-in rebate on purchases of $500 or more when using your Big O credit card. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Valid at participating locations on in-stock sets of 4 Big O brand tires. Up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted retail price not to exceed $35. Disposal fees extra where permitted. Not valid with other offers. See store for pricing. Mail-in rebate subject to credit approval. Not valid with other credit rebate offers. See rebate form for terms and conditions.
Is your back-to-school list getting a little longer than you expected? OFCU's Visa Platinum Credit Card eases the unexpected. OFCU's Visa Platinum Credit Card gives you an interest-free grace period of at least 25 days on new retail purchases when the balance is paid in full each month. No fees for cash advances at OFCU's ATMs and branches. Back to school with OFCU is as easy as ABC. All loans subject to credit approval. Other restrictions may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. OFCU, 3 branches in Otero County. Call 434-8500.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment not found in the civilian world. The Army National Guard can get you started in an array of STEM-related career fields such as information technology, communication systems, special forces engineers, technical engineering, air traffic control, and chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear science. Get a head start on your career in an exciting new field while earning money to pay for college, all while serving in your own community. Log on to NationalGuard.com or talk to a recruiter in your area to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Tularosa Basin Telephone Company is famous for keeping you connected. They promise to deliver fast speeds, provide a reliable network, and do it all with a smile. Their customer service team is on top of every call with the answers you need. In fact, they believe their customers are the most important part of their business. Give Tularosa Basin Telephone Company a call at 585-2700 for the internet experience you've been waiting for.
This is Brandon with Desert Sun. I'm not sure if you all know this, but Desert Sun Auto Group consists of 5 dealerships across the great state of New Mexico. This means we have 5 new car departments with over 500 vehicles to choose from and over 200 quality pre-owned vehicles. Majority of these vehicles, when bought from us, are backed with Desert Sun's lifetime powertrain protection. Stop by either Desert Sun Motors or Desert Sun Toyota today and let us help you find your new ride. See our full inventory at DesertSunMotors.com.
When you hear the term Outfitters of Champions, you know it's the Winner's Circle. They can do all your custom silk screen and embroidery on hats, shirts, and jackets. Whether it's for your business, team sales, special events, or personal use. The Winner's Circle is the place for quality work at reasonable prices with group and team discounts available. They also customize trophies, personalized plaques, and sporting gear. The Winner's Circle, 1201 10th Street, or give them a call at 437-9373.
I love being a part of Action Team.
For more than a decade, Major League Baseball players and action teams of high school students have been working together to train and inspire the next generation of volunteers.
It's one of the best feelings in the world.
Just that simple act is transforming someone else's life.
All-star Giancarlo Stanton and Chris Capuano join Action Team captains to make a difference in their communities.
It'll just make you feel so good about yourself.
I'd do anything to convince you just to be a part of this.
For more information, go to actionteam.org.
I didn't think it was possible for me to be an alcoholic. I was 24 with a good career. I thought something else was making me sick, shaky, and afraid to face people. Then I found AA and discovered it wasn't something else, it was alcohol. AA helped me find a new life. Alcoholics Anonymous. It works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
For the local AA hotline, call 430-9502. That's 430-9502.
You're listening to ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome back. This is the Roundup, 437-1230. If you'd like to call into the show for today, D-backs baseball off tonight. They're back at it tomorrow as they take on, I believe, the Angels tomorrow. So I'm trying to pull up my schedule. Do want to mention, of course, we got Tiger football coming up on Friday. Aggies football on Saturday night as they take on Wyoming. And, yes, it is the Angels tomorrow and Wednesday for the D-backs. So not a especially busy week for play-by-play here on the station. 2 D-backs games, then Tigers on Friday, Aggies on Saturday, and then we've got D-backs Sunday with the Yankees and the Orioles to wrap up the week for you. But as a reminder, you can always check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/ESPN Alamogordo, and we'll have that schedule pinned to the top all times. So if you're curious what games we have on, what's coming up, we usually have it, probably 2-3 weeks out, if not longer. So you can check accordingly and know when you can listen into what's going on. But Aggies coming up, we've got the NFL here in a few weeks kicking off, so that's it's going to be up there. And of course, as we hit October, Major League Baseball playoffs, more Tiger sports, more Aggies, all kinds of good stuff for you guys. So plenty of reasons to stay tuned and got you all taken care of. All right. And again, we'll have Tiger football games streaming on YouTube along with this show and also the KNMZ Football Roundtable. You can listen to that anytime that you like. So that'll be something new that we'll be doing this year as well. You can check that out. But, excited for all the fun stuff coming up, and hope that you'll be tuned in with us here on ESPN Alamogordo. It's going to be good. Tomorrow, obviously, the plan is to have Alamogordo volleyball. Supposed to be coming in a little bit later on today, and so we'll record that interview and play it for you guys tomorrow, right around 2 o'clock. Wednesday, it'll be Alamogordo cross country, and then believe it'll be Coach Cisco. I don't know if it's going to be Wednesdays this year, or if it's going to be another day this year, so we'll let you know what the plan is there. But tomorrow on the show, I'll give you an idea of what the schedule, what the plan is will be going forward for the weekly interview with Coach Cisco here on ESPN Alamogordo. But we'll have that for you guys as we chat it up. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you subscribe to the ESPN Alamogordo YouTube channel, or it's youtube.com/ESPN Alamogordo. Search ESPN Alamogordo on YouTube. Super easy. I'd have to say far easier than the way we had it set up on Ustream. So far, it seems to be a much easier way to do it. I was a little bothered by the way things didn't record the way that I wanted them to on Friday night, but that's going to happen. So not overly concerned, just was kind of confused on why the first little bit of the show, for whatever reason, didn't record in. But things will happen. And that's the other deal. Hopefully you'll be able to listen back to Tiger football games. Maybe if you miss it, you can always tune into it. And if you're looking for highlights or various stuff, we'll make sure we have that for you guys that you can listen to there. So, but let everybody know if you've got family, friends that are going to listen out of town for whether it's football, basketball, baseball, softball coming up in the spring, that we switch things up a little bit. Not as if we're not going to remind you guys a ton on the Facebook page and on Twitter over the next weeks or so. Let you guys know what's going on there. All right. Not many huge stories coming out of the weekends, national sports-wise. Got the new AP football poll today. Alabama's number 1. Take it for what you will. It's a preseason poll. Certainly worth getting worked up over. I'm sure everybody will. But just kind of the way that it is. People get upset. I think they're number 1 in the coaches poll as well. Clemson's number 2, Georgia 3, Wisconsin 4th. UNM's playing Wisconsin this year, right? I think they are. Ohio State's ranked number 5. Preseason AP poll started in 1950, and since then only Oklahoma, from 85 to 87, had started number 1 in 3 straight years until now. Alabama, obviously, is the team to do that. And for whatever reason, they didn't decide to put the rest of the poll on this little story here. So let me see if I can find the rest of the poll for you guys. Let's see. Washington at 6, Oklahoma 7, Miami 8, Auburn 9, and Penn State 10. A lot of powerhouses, or at least well-known teams in that entire run there. And Ohio State hasn't been hurt by, we still don't know what Urban Meyer's status is going to be to begin the season. It's been about 14 days for them to work through this, and it's been, I think we're coming up on it. I think Friday will end up being 2 weeks since they started that investigation. So, Michigan State 11, Notre Dame is 12, Stanford, Michigan, USC round out the top 15, round out the top 20, TCU, West Virginia, Mississippi State, Florida State, Virginia Tech. I'm sure Central Florida fans will be irritated that they're 21. Boise. Listen, I like Boise, but I just feel like there's a lot of these writers out there like, let's just put Boise in there. They should be about 23, 24 every single year. I think every single season they are. Texas, Oregon, and LSU round out the top 25. So I know that preseason polls really don't matter, but they kind of do because we value wins, especially early in the season. I think there's people that get stuck in their mind. Well, they beat a top 10 team to open up the year. Well, that top 10 team is, hovering around 500, so how good of a win was that really? So, these polls matter. I know a lot of people feel like they don't, but in college football, more than any other, the polls matter. And listen, I mean, you can see it in college basketball as well. Again, you beat a team that's in the top 10 at some point in the season, and everybody says, oh, that was a great win. And then you really go and look at that team's resume and think, you know what? There really wasn't that much to be impressed with there. But such is life. It's nothing but fun. Again, if you're a fan, I wouldn't get too worked up over it. But to say that these polls are completely useless, I know I've sat here and said that plenty of times, but especially in college football, perception is so much. And whether this team really is a top 10 team or a top 25 team, whoever it may be, I'm just excited college football's almost here. And by the way, this week is technically week 0. But you have some games. I actually think New Mexico State, Wyoming might be pretty decent. And for that matter, Colorado State, Hawaii may not be that bad. It's something, for people that are just starved for college football. It's something. Better than nothing is what I would say. Obviously, next week is when we'll truly get into the new season. So, let's see. Okay, speaking of the Urban Meyer, OSU board's going to meet on Wednesday to decide Urban's future. Adrian Peterson signing a 1-year deal with the Redskins. I know the guy's a name, and he's an incredible talent at one point. I just feel like most teams are probably better off by let's go sign somebody that's young and give them an opportunity. I just signing the old warhorse running back so rarely has turned out to work out well for somebody. It does every now and then, and maybe AP's got a year or two of solid work left in him. He may. And maybe he's somebody that'll just help out that running back core for the Redskins, and if he's not asked to do a bunch. But just hard to look at a guy that's had 2 major knee surgeries. I think he's had more than that in his career, and in his early 30s, and you've just seen the drop-off with him. It's happened for so many running backs. It's some can last a little bit longer, but it would be so encouraging to see somebody like Adrian Peterson come out and have a great year, because I'm sitting here writing him off. I think it would be really entertaining to see him come out with a really solid season, but I don't know. And this is something to watch. Jets GM praising Sam Darnold and is open to a Teddy Bridgewater trade. We'll see what the Jets decide to do there. Do you wait a little bit longer? Not so much that you're not going to start Sam, but you wait for a team to be a little bit more desperate, and so you'll end up getting a better deal. Probably a few teams that are already desperate, but it's going to be... you look across the league, who would be most starved? With the Bills' injury situation, I'm sure some people will say Buffalo, but I think Buffalo's going to stand pat. I know A.J. McCarron going down is not good, but you went into the year with Peterman and Josh Allen possibly playing. You might as well just go with what you got. That's my feeling. Who else would be in the Teddy Bridgewater sweepstakes? Maybe somebody like the Bears. I know they've got Trubisky, but you get to a point where you're like, let's try and go and get somebody who we know can play in the NFL. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Can't imagine the Browns would, even though it always feels like they need a quarterback. I've heard some people say Jacksonville should legitimately look at a Teddy Bridgewater. Here's the thing with the Jags, man. They're going to live or die by Blake Bortles, because it feels like they've got every other piece there, and it's going to be the big question mark is going to be what kind of player Bortles can be. I mean, he helped them get to the AFC title game last year. So, a lot better than a number of other quarterbacks out there. Anybody in the NFC that is just looking dire straits? What about the Cardinals? I'm not even sure what Arizona. I need to look and see what is Arizona's quarterback situation going into this year. I'm not even completely sure where they are at the moment. I don't think it'd be the Redskins. They got Alex Smith. I mean, he's very good. The Chiefs. Haven't heard a lot of very positive things coming out of the Chiefs quarterback situation out of the preseason. So there may be a few teams that are looking that direction. Listen, if you're going to go down the Sam Darnold route and you're going to play him this entire season, I don't know if it's a terrible thing. Just be like, let's unload the veteran and let the rookie play. And it's going to be what it's going to be. I'd say Buffalo has that same deal going into this year. Who was the other big quarterback this offseason? You had Allen. You had Darnold. It's the kid from UCLA, and I can't think of his name. Rosen. There we go. So, did he end up in Arizona? Where did I the draft was not that long ago, and I can't remember these things. I'm feeling a little bothered by the fact that I can't remember these things. Okay, he is with the Cardinals. There we go. That was the one I couldn't place. So, I mean, that's essentially the same situation there in Arizona as it is with the Jets. Not exactly a good look for the Cardinals if they're already trading for a quarterback in the offseason. So, Eagles possibly, just from the standpoint that Foles apparently got hurt in the preseason game this weekend, and there's still a lot of question marks on whether Carson Wentz is going to be ready for the start of the season. And that's not something that you want to rush into. But I get the feeling that that group won't feel like they need to make a trade. They'll go with who they've got and get through the early part of the season. Don't want to give something up for somebody that they're not going to need in the long run. So, yeah, I think that's an interesting question of who would trade for Teddy Bridgewater. Because a lot of teams are set where they're at for the most part. Maybe a Tampa? Just because I think the question marks around Jameis Winston and who else do they have on that roster these days behind him? I'm sure there's probably some Dolphins fans, but, Tannehill getting hurt last year was, that was obviously bad luck. If he comes back and starts to show some of the form that I feel like he was showing a couple years ago towards the end of that season, he'll be fine. Unless somebody gets hurt, that's what it's going to be. Somebody's going to get hurt, and they'll start calling. So hopefully the Jets are willing to be patient and sit on Bridgewater for a little bit and wait because somebody's going to lose their starter, whether it's for an entire season or for a long period of the season. And that's when they're going to come calling. Now, I don't know. That's a tough deal to, I think, come into midseason and try to be a quarterback for a team. That's the bigger problem more than anything else, why you don't see, you can't plug guys in, or I would feel like quarterbacks into systems that easily. It's just not a very easy thing to do. I feel like that's... And I think you see it in football in general, but you trade for a big-time slugger or a pitcher in baseball, there's not going to be a huge difference from going from one team to another. It's essentially just playing the game. I feel like in basketball, I think there's probably a little bit of a struggle. And hockey, too, and a number of other sports where you have trades. I just... Football seems to be one where that transition, and that's one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of trades, is it's difficult for somebody to be an impact player when they're traded from one team to another in the middle of the season. If anything, just having time to acclimate. even if you get traded at the trade deadline in baseball or basketball, you still have probably a third of the season left. And technically you do in football, but if you're talking about a third of the season being left, that's 10 games maybe at most, 9 games. Whereas in baseball, you're talking probably 50 games still worth to try to work your way and be where you want to be. For basketball and hockey, it's probably about 20 or 30 games that you still have a chance to get into the system and get used to playing with your teammates. So it's interesting to me that people think, oh yeah, there's going to be a bunch of these people calling for Teddy Bridgewater. It's like, maybe. Again, somebody gets hurt. Could be. Indianapolis is one I probably should throw out there too, just not knowing what Andrew Luck is going to bring headed into this season, coming off an injury. All right, let's take a break. If you want to call in, 437-1230. More of the roundup for you after this.
There are no roadblocks scheduled today on either Highway 70 or 54 South. For the latest roadblock information, call 575-678-1178. Tonight's forecast is calling for partly cloudy skies, 20% chance of rain in the basin, 40% for the mountains. Alamogordo, low of 69 for Cloudcroft, a low of 53. Tomorrow we're looking at mostly sunny, becoming partly cloudy skies, slight chance of rain in the basin, a better chance up in the mountains. Alamogordo tomorrow, high of 93, low of 69. Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 74, low of 55.
What makes Vision Ford Lincoln Hyundai unique? At Vision Ford, we're all about you. Your vision, your style, your needs, and your story. Vision is fully stocked with dozens of the hottest 2018 models, including the Ford F-Series, America's #1 selling truck for 40 years. With financing options that fit every budget and a sales team dedicated to you, Vision Ford Lincoln Hyundai continues the Yes We Can tradition. All we need is you. Visit us today at 1500 South White Sands Boulevard or 24/7 online at visionfordlincoln.com.
State Treasurer Tim Eichenberg is pleased to announce the launch of Able New Mexico, investment accounts for New Mexicans living with disabilities. These individuals have been denied easy access to savings and investment opportunities, but as of January 18th can open tax-free savings accounts and begin saving for their futures. Enrollment is online, free, fast, and simple. For more information, visit ablenewmexico.com or call 505-955-1120. Paid for by the State Treasurer's Office and aired in cooperation with the NMBA and this station.
Lose weight, be happier, get smarter, improve your memory, all by doing one thing. Sleep well. Tax time in 2018 is your chance to catch up on great sleep. Use your hard-earned tax refund to buy yourself the one thing that can make the biggest difference in your health, a new mattress to get better sleep. Sleep Well is here to help you find the right mattress for your needs. Back problems? Too heavy snoring? Sleep Well can help you. Sleep hot? Your partner toss and turn? No problem. Sleep Well can help. Corner of First and White Sands. Sleep Well. When you sleep well, you live well.
Score big with great savings at Justin's Motor Company. Hustle on down to one of Justin's 2 locations. Cars, trucks, SUVs, Jeeps, you name it, Justin's has it. Makes and models to fit any budget and the best customer service in town. One-stop online shopping makes your next car buying experience a breeze. Check out the full inventory, meet the staff, even apply online. All at justinsmotorcompany.com. 2 locations conveniently located on the Holloman Highway or 489-5820 Justin's Motor Company.
Sometimes you just need a loan. Your daughter Debbie is getting married. Your son Toby needs a new tuba. Let's face it, families cost money. Things come up that you had no way of predicting. We make personal loans for occasions like this to people who have good credit. So next time you find yourself connected to the unexpected, stop in and see us about a personal loan, subject to credit approval. First National Bank, member FDIC. When you grow, we grow.
I'm Ed Horrell, and this is The Kindness Revolution. One of my favorite philosophies goes like this: yard by yard, life is hard. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. I really like that. For many of us, life can appear to be hard. We get up in the morning overwhelmed with the difficulties we're facing. For some, it's relationships. For others, financial issues. Some are dealing with health challenges. Others, job issues. For most of us, however, if we break our issues down to bite-sized pieces, they don't look so large, so looming. The vast majority of our problems look less daunting when we begin to realize that they don't overwhelm us when we look at them in light of what we can do right now to deal with them. Taking regular, daily, small steps to deal with our problems leads us towards our ultimate goals. Remember, yard by yard, life is hard. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. To learn more, check us out at BeKindnessRevolution.net.
Women now make up 37% of the workforce, changing their role forever.
Harvard Medical School has now opened its doors to new female applicants.
The first woman is now in space.
The majority of last year's doctorate degrees were earned by women.
We've come so far, but our news is changing for the worse. More women die from heart disease and stroke than men, even though it can be prevented. Make a change at GoRedForWomen.org today. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women.
You're listening to ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome back into the show. Got about 10 minutes left. Again, busy week of high school sports across the area. Alamogordo Boys Soccer plays 3 games at home this week. 6:30 tomorrow night against Hobbs, 6 o'clock on Thursday against Los Lunas, and 1 p.m. on Saturday against Chaparral. And a rematch of former district opponents and the quarterfinal of the state tournament last year. You've got Alamogordo Volleyball on Thursday as they take on Ruidoso. Of course, Alamogordo Football on Friday against Valencia. Alamogordo Girls Soccer on the road this week. On Tuesday, they'll be at Hobbs, and on Saturday, they'll be at Chaparral. So a pair of games for them this week. And Tularosa Football hosting Hot Springs on Friday nights. No Thule Volleyball this week. Cloudcroft Football at McCurdy on Saturday. Mescalero Football hosting Mission Achievement on Saturday. Mescalero Volleyball on Thursday against Gateway Christian. I believe that's a home match for them. So, decent amount of things across the area to check out this week, and we'll do our best to make sure we keep you up to speed with it. I'll be out there at boys soccer tomorrow, and of course we'll get you scores from girls soccer once that finishes up tomorrow evening. And Thursday, try and split my time between volleyball and soccer the best that I can. That's obviously going to be... I'm a little unsure. I need to check with... actually, I'll check with the girls when they come in today for volleyball. I assume the schedule is essentially normal, that 9th grade plays first, followed by JV, and then varsity. But the way it's listed on the schedule, it's slightly confusing because the other 2 are scrimmages, so... want to make sure that 6:30. I would imagine varsity starts at 6:30. They're usually last on, so. But I want to double check on that. It would be, I don't know, it'd be kind of weird for them to play the varsity match at 4:30. That would be a little strange. So, we'll let you know on that. And of course, we'll be live from Los Lunas coming up on Friday for Tiger football as they take on the Jaguars. Looking forward to it. I'm ready to go for the first football game of the year. Always, I hope I'm not going to be too rusty with it. I tell you, sometimes it just, especially, and I think these are both going to be teams that use misdirection a lot, so good luck to me. I need to get, like, binoculars that fit on my face. Oh, wait, those are called glasses. It'd be a lot easier if I could see right next down to the field. Actually, Valencia is not too bad. The way the press box is situated, it's a little bit closer than, say, if you're sitting at Tiger Stadium or some of the other places. So it's not quite as much of a challenge to try to read out the numbers. But you think by this point in this year and how many years in a row they've worn those jerseys for Tiger football that I'd be able to pick out the numbers well. I really wish I wish the jerseys were closer to what their practice jerseys are. I'm telling you. And they look nice, too. I like Alamogordo's practice jerseys. They're simple. They're white and black. Can you put a little bit of gold in there? That's fine. I'd be down for white jerseys, black numerals for the road, black jerseys, white numerals at home, and gold helmets. But that's just me. Maybe gold pants, too. Yes, I think about jerseys a lot.
I literally just thought of this right now. I was mainly watching them during the scrimmage the other day. I was like, gosh, those are so easy to read. Let's do those more often. I would think for you in the stands probably too. I mean, you're sitting about the same distance that I am. But see, I'm thinking of you guys. I'm just thinking of me. I'm thinking of you guys as well. Listen, I've had coaches tell me that, and I clearly remember a few years ago when they had the gold numerals with it was a very slight black outlining. That they kind of did it on purpose so that maybe the numbers wouldn't be read that well on tape or for the coaches up in the box. So I'm telling you, there's zero consideration. The radio guy will be able to see who that is from the press box. Nobody cares. And I wouldn't expect them to. I'd find that a little weird if they did. So, but I'm excited to get it going. You know, we've been doing all the preview interviews, and again, we've got cross country and volleyball this week. Again, I had a good chat with the cheerleading coach during the event on Friday night, and we'll probably talk to them a little bit closer when they get their competition season started, or we might fit them in here sooner rather than later. So it's so it'll be a fun thing to watch. The season gets started, and again, if you missed out on football, which again we didn't interview, I think after the first week of practice. We had one earlier in the summer as well, but you can find both of those on our YouTube channel. We'll talk to Coach Cisco coming up Wednesday. I did get that confirmed, by the way. Wednesday at 2:30, and that'll be the same every week this year. That we'll talk to Coach Cisco and get his thoughts on the upcoming week, and obviously once we get the season in gear, talk about the previous week as well. So we'll look forward to that. And this week will probably be a little bit longer. We'll try and run through as much of the team as we can and figure out who those starters are going to be and maybe some of the backups so you guys can pick them out once Tiger football gets started and we know who's starting where and who's playing where and all that fun stuff. So that'll be a goal for the interview coming up this Wednesday. And again, we'll have cross country on that show as well. So we'll have a nice week for you guys this week here on the show. I know today we didn't have any interviews for you guys, but tomorrow, Wednesday, and we'll see what we have for you guys on Thursday. Get you ready for the weekend of football. Good, some really good opening weekend games as well across the state. Las Cruces Manzano is this weekend, and there's a few others that I think will be interesting for week one, that's for sure, and could have some impacts later on in the season, maybe some state playoff previews across the state. So we'll definitely spend some time on that and get some of those, see where that is going into the season. So we'll be excited to look at all that good stuff coming into the year. All right, just a couple minutes left in the show, and if you want to fit in a call, you certainly can. Not much of the baseball front over the weekend. I know I was heavily irritated by how the Braves lost to the Rockies, but I'll tell you what, man, the Rockies are playing some of the best baseball in the league right now, along with the A's. A's couldn't quite overcome the Astros and take over first place in the American League West, but they're still just a game back. Rockies are a half game back of the D-backs. Brewers are 3.5 out from the Cubbies. Cardinals 4. Dodgers, by the way, are 2 back of Arizona. Braves got swept this weekend, still have a half-game lead in the division somehow. Phillies are a half-game back. Nationals really didn't gain a whole lot of ground. They're still 7 out. Red Sox got a 9.5-game lead on the Yankees. Indians are up 12 on the Twins. As I mentioned, the Astros got the 1-game lead on the A's. 4.5 back of the Marlins. Wild card, Yankees first. Athletics in the second spot. Mariners are the only team that's really got a chance. It's on the outside looking in. Rockies, Phillies, and Brewers are tied for the wild card. The 2 of the 3 positions. I'm still not sure how that would work with it. We haven't had a tie since the new wild card has come in. I'm curious to see how that would work out. It's going to happen. One of these years is going to happen. This would be a year you'd expect it. Cardinals are half game out. Dodgers are a game and a half. Maybe not ready to count out the Pirates and Nationals yet, but so we didn't get any big changes from the weekend. Little League World Series going on. hey, football. We're ready to make it happen. It starts this week. Hey, you guys have a good day. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, this is Stu Gatz. You're listening to ESPN Alamogordo, 103.7 Southern New Mexico sports leader, KNMZ Alamogordo.
Mr. Peterson goes to Washington, D.C. The Redskins are signing running back Adrian Peterson to a one-year deal following today's workout. Washington was down to 3 healthy running backs on its roster and can use Peterson in a couple of ways, notes ESPN's Louis Riddick.
What they can do is they can pair him up with a guy like Chris Thompson on third down, provided that Adrian is everything that they want him to be. He's your first and second down hammer. He's your between the tackles guy who still has shown on occasion that he can break some big runs.
Monday Night Football, Colts quarterback Andrew Luck slated to get the start and play the first quarter against the Ravens as he continues his return from shoulder surgery. 8 Eastern ESPN TV. The Bills discussed possibly adding another quarterback with A.J. McCarron sidelined by an injured right shoulder. Josh Allen and Nathan Peterman rotated QB reps at today's practice. Ohio State's Board of Trustees will meet Wednesday morning to discuss the results of an investigation into how football coach Urban Meyer handled allegations of domestic violence against former assistant Zach Smith. Meyer remains on administrative leave. Michigan named quarterback Shea Patterson as its starter for the season opener against Notre Dame.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
This is the Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio.
And on the ESPN app.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present ESPN's own Will Cain. How dare you?
It's 5 o'clock on the East Coast. That doesn't just mean it's happy hour. That doesn't just mean it's quitting time. That means it's time for a new bit, a new feature, the Top 5 at 5. My top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL just shortly here on the Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, and on ESPN News. You can give me a call and join the convo, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. I'm watching Joe Test, Jason Witten, and Booger McFarland getting ready for Monday Night Football tonight, where you have the Baltimore Ravens, Joe Flacco, Lamar Jackson, RG3, set to take on the Indianapolis Colts and the return of Andrew Luck. We've been talking about the helmet rule today. Whether or not, in the course of making football safe, you either sacrifice the very nature of the game, and as Richard Sherman says, turn it into flag football, or end up in a place where you try to bubble wrap everybody and keep them safe from harm. We don't want to take on unnecessary risk. We don't want to delude people into playing a game that they think is safe and turns out to be very dangerous. We don't want to be a society full of bloodlust that can't get enough of violence. But the truth of the matter is, football is violent. Boxing is violent. MMA is violent. And that's why we watch them. That's apropos because it has been 585 days, or it was 585 days, before the first preseason game of this season, between Andrew Luck's last time he played football and this preseason. 19 months it had been since Andrew Luck had seen live action. Now, as I was watching preseason games this weekend, and I watched, I don't even remember who it was, but some Eagles, or rather Bengals, cornerback, cut block Zach Martin, I did have the fear of God run through me. I was terrified that Zach Martin, the best offensive guard in the NFL, was out for the season. And I did wonder, what's it all worth in the preseason? But the fact of the matter is you can't bubble wrap everybody. You can't make football safe. You can't make it free from violence. It is an inherently violent game that not just the fans, but those that play it sign up for. And you have to play. You can't sit on the sideline. You can't do what Hugh Jackson talks about. You can't be ready to play football by sitting on the bench. I say this because as Andrew Luck takes the field tonight, there are those suggesting maybe he shouldn't. Maybe we should wait. It doesn't count. Don't take the risk. But you can get hurt in this game anywhere at any time. You can get hurt in training camp. You can get hurt in practice. In fact, you can have even the exact injury we're trying to legislate out of the game, a concussion. In a training camp practice, when you're wearing a red jersey that says, do not hit this person, I give you Ben Roethlisberger with a concussion in training camp for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You just can't safely avoid all violence in the NFL. Andrew Luck's got to play, and the NFL's got to try to stop putting rule upon rule upon rule upon rule and legislating away what is football. All right, top 5 at 5, my 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL. Take it away, Bubba.
It's been said.
List radio is the worst kind of radio. Worst kind of radio.
Well, we here at the Will Kane Show disagree.
The worst kind of radio. List radio talk is terrible.
Here's today's top 5 in the 5.
Very Dan Le Batard featured roll-in you got there for our first top 5.
He was the inspiration for the segment. Ace List
echoes off into the distance. List radio. Top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL going into the 2018 season. These are the 5 guys I say not only would you pick to win you one game, but to win you throughout one season. The consistency, the winning nature, clutch, talent, arm talent, proven record. The guys I would count on to win a game if I had to win me a season if I had to. Why are you all smiling? Because you're all wondering where Dak Prescott comes in. Well, what do you think? 3 or 4?
I mean, shouldn't it be 2?
Thought about that. It's debatable.
Yeah, I guess a little lower. Just
objective.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Coming in at number 5, the 5th best quarterback in the NFL, or the 5th guy I would take to start any game this season, to start all season, and put me in the best chance to win, is one Matthew Stafford of Highland Park, Texas, starting for the Detroit Lions. I believe in Matthew Stafford and have for some time, and I think he is starting to fulfill that belief. He's starting to show he is a guy you can count on. 66 completion percentage, 29 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and almost 8 yards an attempt. Matt Stafford is waiting to break out. And the truth of the matter is that breakout is going to have more to do with the guys around him than him. The offensive line, the defense, and the running game. Love me some Matt Stafford. At number 4, the quarterback, the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson. Russell, 34 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Russell's clutch. Russell's there when you need him. Russell makes a play. The truth of the matter is when you look at him compared to these other guys, he's got a lower completion percentage. He doesn't stack up in the numbers the way these other guys do. And I've had Andy Benoit on here, and Andy Benoit's not the biggest Russell Wilson fan. I respect Benoit's game analysis, his tape analysis, and opinion on quarterbacks. But I've seen way too many times Russell Wilson coming through when you need him to come through. I think I could count on Russell Wilson, number 4. Number 3, quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees. This is a down year for Brees. Everybody talks about fewer touchdowns, fewer yards, and offense more centered around Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. I just can't get this out of my head. As Drew Brees is dialed back in the offense, his efficiency is dialed up. 72% completion percentage. Good Lord, Drew Brees doesn't miss. Number 2, this is where he comes in, Bubba, right? This is probably it right here.
I mean, got to be either 2 or 1, so I would...
Well, everybody's nervous because he's not 2. He's obviously 1.
Right, exactly.
So we should probably put Brady here. Nope, it's Aaron Rodgers. The second best quarterback in the NFL, even I can acknowledge, is the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. I mean, hell, in the past 12 months, 18 months, I've seen 2 throws. One in this last regular season against Jordan Lewis in the back corner in Texas Stadium. And last year in the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers just torched the Cowboys with 1 throw. God, he is scary. He's really good. But the best quarterback in the NFL is the best quarterback of all time, is the best football player of all time. It is Tom Brady. This dude, it's just worth a review. It's just worth one more time. 40 years old, 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 66% completion. I laugh at your cliff. Tom laughs at your cliff. I don't know how many more years the laughter will continue, but he's number one for this season. That's my top 5 at 5. We'll be doing this throughout the week. List Radio every day, 5 o'clock. Top 5. Golic and Wingo on the road, presented by Progressive Insurance, will be live Friday from New Jersey in advance of the Giants-Jets game. Drivers who switch to Progressive can save an average of $620. You guys have to hear the latest report on former Ohio State assistant Zach Smith. What kind of sex toys he ordered, had sent to the office, where he took lewd photos, like the location, the background. It's amazing. That's next on the Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Will Cain. Tweet the show at Will Cain Show through the 1-800-Flowers.com Twitter feed. More from the Will Cain Show coming up.
Drop the ankle, Leah.
Sure, Grandpa.
You tied it off, right?
Tied what off?
The anchor. And the rope that the anchor was attached to.
There's a reason they say curse like a sailor.
Ah. Hey, watch your mouth.
Many reasons. Progressive's boat insurance has you covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
So much for fish for dinner.
Hey guys, take notes. School is starting up and it's time for the Sport Clips Haircuts Head of the Class giveaway. You could win awesome prizes like a Razer Blade laptop, mouse, keyboard, and more. Just in time for classes, homework, and the fun in between. Did you get all that? Register for your chance to win at sportclips.com/back-to-school and go straight to the head of the class with an MVP experience. So check it online today. Sport Clips, it's your hair's year. No purchase necessary. 50 USDC age 18 plus. Ends 8/24/18.
There are no roadblocks scheduled today on either Highway 70 or 54 South. For the latest roadblock information, call 575-678-1178. Tonight's forecast is calling for partly cloudy skies, 20% chance of rain in the basin, 40% for the mountains. Alamogordo, low of 69 for Cloudcroft, a low of 53. Tomorrow we're looking at mostly sunny, becoming partly cloudy skies, slight chance of rain in the basin, a better chance up in the mountains. Alamogordo tomorrow, high of 93, low of 69. Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 74, low of 55.
Desert Sun Auto Group is still bringing you the deals with our back-to-school clearance sale. Now until August 31st, Desert Sun Toyota is bringing you super savings like $1,000 cash back on new 2018 4Runners or 2018 RAV4 models with $2,500 in customer cash. What about the all-new 2018 Camry? We are offering $1,000 in customer cash. How does $6,000 in savings on 2018 Avalons in stock sound to you?
Don't let Brandon fool you. The savings aren't only at Desert Sun Toyota. Desert Sun Chevy is celebrating the new school year by practicing our percentages. How does 14% off sound on all 2018 Chevy Silverado 1500 models? Most 2018 Chevrolet Equinox models are 15% off. And the biggest bang for your buck, 18% off on 2018 Buick Encores. Not to mention the hundreds of pre-owned vehicles we have, all backed by our lifetime powertrain guarantee, and some starting as low as $79.95.
Come by 2600 and 3333 North Lysands Boulevard or call 505-207-9306 or visit DesertSunMotors.com.
Want to save at the pump? Think groceries taste better when they're free? Love watching your total go down at the register? Then start shopping with rewards from Albertsons Market. As a rewards member, you'll earn 1 point for every $1 you spend. Redeemable for up to $1 off per gallon of gas and free groceries. Did we mention signing up is free? Go to albertsonsmarket.com/rewards to start saving today. Some restrictions and exclusions apply. See site for details.
Garner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Buying a home should be one of life's best experiences, but today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher payments. And that can turn a great experience into an anxious one. At Quicken Loans, we've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. It's called the power buying process. We check your income, assets, and credit to provide you with a verified approval, which can give you the strength of a cash buyer. Once verified, you qualify for our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days while you find your new home. Then, once you've found your new home, if rates have gone up, your rate stays locked. But if rates have gone down, your rate drops, and you get to keep that new lower rate. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Hey, grilling fans, listen up. The sun is shining, temps are rising, and if there's one thing we know about summer, it's that this kind of weather doesn't last for long. So grab your grill, ignite those coals, and throw on some burgers, steaks, all your favorites. Because once this fire starts burning, the good times are sure to start rolling. Kingsford, start something.
Copays, codes, coupons. Searching for savings on prescriptions is so complex, it's like you need a doctorate degree. Fortunately, CVS Pharmacy employs thousands who have one, our pharmacists. Plus, we built a proprietary search tool to help them find you savings on prescriptions. You don't need to know all of that complicated stuff. You just need to know someone who does. Your friendly doctor of pharmacy at your local CVS. Savings vary. Not all patients eligible for savings. Ask pharmacist for details.
You're tuned in to ESPN Radio on ESPN Alamogordo 103.7.
Never miss the Will Cain Show. Listeners subscribe to the podcast on the ESPN app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, and on ESPN News. The show is presented by Progressive Insurance. Cars, homes, boats, motorcycles, RVs, and more at Progressive.com. Brett McMurphy, formerly of ESPN, now at Stadium, has been tweeting in the last 15 minutes. He says the following. 2 sources connected to the investigation said likely recommendation to Ohio State President Michael Drake is suspension for Urban Meyer. Columbus Dispatch reports. Drake could opt for time-served punishment since Meyer has been removed from football program for more than 2 weeks. We're set for an announcement on that, I believe, guys, on Wednesday on what the investigation comes back and recommends for punishment for Urban Meyer. Is that correct?
Possibly Tuesday.
Possibly
Depends what time.
Tuesday. So while that investigation concludes and we wait for news and begin to read the tea leaves that perhaps Urban Meyer will be retaining his job, news continues to come out, and over the weekend there was some fascinating and salacious details about Zach Smith, former assistant coach at Ohio State's extracurricular activities while actually on the job, in which case I'm not sure you can call it extracurricular. You might just call it, like, I don't know, hobbies or, like smoke breaks or something. This is the kind of stuff he did during his downtime at work, according to Courtney Smith. According to Courtney Smith, this is on Stadium, Zach Smith took multiple photos of his penis inside the Ohio State's coach's office, inside the White House when the Buckeyes visited in 2015, and also photographed himself in the coach's offices receiving oral sex and having sex with an OSU staffer. One photo of Smith's penis taken on April 20th, 2015, according to the timestamp, shows Smith in his black suit he wore to the White House event. Another photo of Smith's penis includes a White House bathroom towel featuring the seal of the President of the United States. So, Zach Smith